CoinZone family, what is going on? It is December 26th, right after Christmas. St. Nick just came down, gave people gifts, and also Trust Wallet got hacked. So that's not really a gift, okay? Bitcoin's down, the markets are down. So St. Nick came, people got some things, people lost some things. And we're here to cover it on the CoinZone. Not trying to miss a beat. I appreciate you guys tapping in. If you are tapping in right now, hope everybody had a great holiday. Let me know in the comments. But as you guys know, this is the CoinZone. I'm your host, Crypto with Paul. Make sure to hit that like button on the way in and make sure to sub to the channel if you haven't already. Now, Chief the Yorkie, let's freaking get it already. Chief, I hope you had a great Christmas. Chief, thanks for tapping in. Listen, guys, this is a little bit old, but this is breaking news all over X right now on my timeline. And I wanted to cover this because this ties right into privacy, which is obviously a big narrative right now happening in crypto. Monero, Zcash, especially Midnight, #1 right now on CoinMarketCap in regards to sentiment. What is it? Or most popular top 20 trending coins right now. Midnight is #1. We'll get to that later. My Christmas is great, Chief the Yorkie. I appreciate you asking. I hope you had a great one as well. But let's get right into this, guys. So this was from March 2024. Okay. For whatever reason, it's making its rounds right now on X, but I think it's super relevant. Chairman Jordan and Rep Hagman opened inquiry into IRS's use of AI to surveil Americans' financial information. Now, we used to cover Janet Yellen, cute little Janet Yellen, a lot on this channel. Well, I did previously. Washington, D.C. today, Chairman Jim Jordan, again, guys, this is old, Rep Ohio, and Rep Harriet Hagman, Wyoming, sent a letter to Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen and Attorney General Merrick Garland, opening an inquiry into the Internal Revenue Services, the IRS, use of artificial intelligence to surveil Americans' financial information. Now, the IRS, plenty of people right now are pushing for the abolishment of the IRS for a number of different reasons. Trump, we're seeing supposedly in Q1 of 2026 coming here very shortly. We're going to see the biggest tax cuts. The IRS was started, 100 years ago, alongside the Federal Reserve, central banks, all these things that basically just put more constraint on the American people. Now, why would we need to collect taxes if we're getting tariff revenue? That is some people's arguments. Obviously, you need taxation to a certain extent, right? Maybe we're all brainwashed because over 150 years ago, that was not the case, right? We see all these different taxes post World War I, etc., that were implemented that were supposed to be temporary or supposed to just be for the 1% or the rich that then got levied onto everybody. And again, they were supposed to be temporary. Now we're all paying them, right? Now we're in some states like California paying up to 40% plus. And people are just, right? There's a meme. People are just on their phone scrolling. Nobody cares, right? We're giving up more of our money, more of our freedoms day by day because of institutions like the IRS. And the people who are not tapped in just don't even realize it's happening. So let's get back into this. Okay. The AI-powered warrantless financial surveillance is highly concerning and raises serious doubts about the federal government's respect for Americans' fundamental civil liberties. Now, if you guys want to get conspiratorial, let's have some fun here. An organization I like to discuss a lot on my Instagram page, maybe I should do it more on my X page, but we'll talk about him here right now, is the World Economic Forum. You have guys like Klaus Schwab, right? George Soros, Naval Harari, which is one of their leading doctors who talks about putting chips in your brain and your body to be able to understand what's happening in your body at all points so we can better healthcare, right? Everything is in the name of bettering something. They just want control, guys. But what are these guys saying? What is Klaus Schwab saying verbatim? The humans on Earth globally need to understand that there's going to be an erosion of privacy for your safety. Right. This right here is an erosion of privacy, guys. Without anybody's consent, the IRS is tapping into your bank accounts. That's pretty concerning. The Committee on the Judiciary and the Select Committee on the Weaponization of the Federal Government are conducting oversight of the federal government's use of artificial intelligence technology to surveil American citizens' financial information. Based on recent reporting and other information obtained by the committee and selective committee, we believe that the Department of the Treasury possesses information necessary for our oversight, and we request your full cooperation. Now, this is big. Where did I first see this, guys? All right, and this is what I quote tweeted this. A privacy blockchain seems more and more necessary every day. That's why I'm not surprised that Midnight has been absolutely taking over. #1 right now on CoinGecko. Okay. IRS using AI to access bank accounts of American citizens without search warrant. Okay, quote unquote, what we have learned is that the IRS, in fact, has been using AI to access bank accounts of American citizens without any kind of search warrant. That's not legal, guys. Okay, this was something that was just discovered by an undercover journalist. What they found is that the IRS has claimed that they have access to every single person's bank account. Yeah, a lot of people are calling for the abolishment of the IRS. I think that'll be pretty cool. I would like to see that. But Chief the Yorkie, any of you guys watching right now, let me know in the comments what you think about this. I mean, to me, this is very concerning. As somebody who wishes that we can go back in time to a simpler time, to when technology didn't rule every aspect of our lives. You know, we look in the future, robotics is going to be a huge thing. You're going to have your Amazon delivery packages potentially being delivered to you in the next 5 or 10 years by robots instead of people. Yes, Chief the Yorkie, 1984, George Orwell. We're basically already in Orwellian society, and it's only going to get worse year over year. It's not going to stop. And unfortunately, I thought maybe Donald Trump was going to try to put a kibosh on some of the stuff. You know, he spoke very heavily about how crazy the left is with some of the stuff that they're doing. This, for example, right? This happened in 2024 before he took office. But at the end of the day, I mean, Buddy, J.D. Vance included are, you know, brushing shoulders with Palantir, right? Palantir, Alex Karp helped get them elected. So, you know, a lot of that's going to be happening. That's not good, guys. I don't think that's good. And I don't know if Trump truly understands what he's even doing. I think he's just a smart businessman. He thinks, all right, this is going to help the economy. Well, you're still eroding our privacy, big guy. I don't know, but to me, that's scary, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Chief the Yorkie, you're 100% right. 1984, George Orwell. Scary things happening. Let's move on, guys. This is a top story. And if anybody was affected out of this $7 million lost, I genuinely feel bad for you because this is on Christmas Day. Imagine waking up to presents under the tree, right? Some dude coming down a chimney, eating your cookies, taking a little sip of milk, leaving some gifts for you. You're with your family. You're eating food, maybe watching football. Good vibes, right? Some people are doing that little walk with their cousins where they come back with the eyes a little red, right? You guys know what I'm saying. These are the memes that we see on holidays like this. Good times, right? You come back from your walk, you're eating some food. All of a sudden, you check your Trust Wallet. 0 account balance. That sure is something. So this is from Cointelegraph, guys. Trust Wallet, this is 8 hours ago, by the way. Trust Wallet will recover $7 million lost in Christmas Day hack, CZ says. Now, CZ is a co-owner of Trust Wallet. $7 million to CZ is like a drop in a bucket. I'm sure that he will be able to get the funds returned to these individuals. But however, the point behind this, guys, is how the hell are we ever going to get retail adoption if things like this continue to happen? Has anybody ever had their Wells Fargo hacked? No, guys. If someone's dipping their toe in and they just got Trust Wallet and they're like, let's get it. This crypto thing, I'm ready. And then their wallet gets drained. You think that's going to deter them? Yes, of course it is. This is not good. It's really bad to see. And I really, truly feel for anybody who was involved in this. So Trust Wallet users lost about 7 million in a Christmas Day exploit that had been planned since early December. Trust Wallet's browser extension version 2.68 was compromised by a security incident impacting desktop users. Trust Wallet said in a Thursday X post, it advised users to upgrade to version 2.89. CZ, co-founder of Binance, which owns a cryptocurrency wallet that claims to serve 220 million users, said in an X post that the funds will be recovered. Now, let's go over to CZ himself. So far, quote unquote, 7 million affected by this hack will recover. Trust Wallet will cover. User funds are SAFU. Appreciate your understanding for any inconveniences caused. The team is still investigating how hackers were able to submit a new version. This is just scary to me, guys. They still don't even know how. And this was last night. Okay. Surely is insider working in the team. Most likely. Bear all the losses. Cousin is going to bleed heavily again. User first. 100% CZ says. Okay. This is not good, guys. All right. This is the issue when you have newer technologies trying to figure it out, man. You're still going to get exploits, right? We talk about Solana gets hit with exploits, sandwich attacks. We have hacks happening on Ethereum still. It's why I like ADA, guys, right? We saw a situation where a potential hack happened with ADA recently. In 2 seconds, everybody rallied, the community. Charles, IOHK, some of the founding entities just all came together, squashed it in 2 seconds. Chain never went down. No hacks. No funds were ever lost. So again, it's fundamentals in this space are so goddamn important. You have to build something correctly. You can't just move fast and break things and hope to get a big user base because you have a fast protocol or something like that. This is something that nobody ever wants to experience in this space. If I lost all my funds sitting on one of my wallets, I'd cry. Genuinely, it would be a huge setback for me. This is a big deal. Security is a big deal. All right. So if anybody out there is tapped in with us right now, you know anybody, you yourself, or anybody has ever experienced something in this situation like this, let us know, because again, it could be very, very scary, very deterring. In the past, we saw 3 Hours Capital, Celsius, Voyager, FTX, catastrophic situations that have really put a damper on the entire space and eroded adoption. You hate to see it. Hope everybody's staying safe out there. At this point, my advice would be Trust Wallet is Trust Wallet. You're supposed to be able to trust the freaking wallet. That's what it's called, right? But at this point, guys, there's really only a few, I feel like, that, whether it's integrated onto a desktop or whether it's a cold storage, that you can genuinely trust. Maybe just stick the route of a cold storage. Or if you're using a native desktop extension, right? Like Cardano, for example, there's Yoroi or Giro, which is native on Cardano. So in that respect, you kind of have the security of the entire Cardano blockchain. So you could be a little bit more secure if you believe ADA is secure, right? You could do the same thing with Phantom on Solana, etc. But we have seen hacks happen there with Phantom, right? So you have to really do your research. If you're going to trust an extension like this, something that's technically on chain, right? You got to really freaking trust it, or else just use a cold storage wallet and call it a day. That's the ultimate message of Bitcoiners. They're like, look, we just buy and hold, put it in cold storage. I'm safe and sound. I have peace of mind. Some people want yield. Some people want to trade, etc. So they're doing a little bit more riskier things. But if you're going to do that, you got to make sure you know what you're doing. Let's move on, guys. So remember Uptober, because I do, and that ship sailed. Okay. Guess what, guys? October ended in negative 3.69% for Bitcoin. November, Upvember. Oh, who remembers Upvember? Oh, well, we didn't get October. Well, November is going to rally. Yeah, down 17.67%. Then the people said, oh, well, the market's going to recover. We'll have a Santa rally in December. Yeah, well, guess what, guys? We're down 1.5%. All right, the last time that we saw 3 consecutive months in the red, right? All of Q4 in the red was 2018. All right, so 7-ish years ago. Not really that good, or it could be good. All right, we're going to take a look at some more charts right now, some more negative things happening right now, and then we're going to finish up with maybe some positive things just to counter it out, as we always try to do. All right, December is now in the red for Bitcoin. The market has marked a third consecutive red month, an entire red Q4. This is not what most crypto holders expected. Yeah. Can't always trust charts, the smartest people in the space. Sometimes, right? God has other plans for you. It says, watch this, you stupid SOB. Okay, let's keep it moving, guys. Bitcoin. Let's keep it moving. This is just like 2 seconds ago. All right, couple hours ago. Bitcoin falls nearly $3,000 in 45 minutes as $70 million worth of leveraged longs get liquidated. This is all I've been seeing of Q4. All October, all November. When is this going to end? When is this going to stop? When are people going to realize maybe it's not always best to use leverage? But people are just continuing to get wrecked for 3 straight months now, and Bitcoin is falling because of it. Now, again, you can argue manipulation. We're still waiting to hear exactly what happened in October with that $19 billion liquidation event. But at the end of the day, guys, right? Like, we just had someone amazing on our podcast. I can't wait for you guys to listen to this interview. This was a big name in the space. She has written a book. She has interviewed Michael Saylor and huge names. And we had the fortune of having her on our show here. Okay, if you guys want a sneak peek of who she is, her book is called Bitcoin for Everyone. All right, we just sat down with her. And the biggest takeaway is just buy and hold. Just zoom out. And that's exactly what we say. It's exactly what I say on all these live streams, guys. Zoom out and STFU, okay? That's what we have to do. Now let's continue with the negative news here. Breaking news. Again, this is today, this morning. BlackRock has deposited $92 million of Bitcoin and $22 million of Ethereum to Coinbase today. What does that normally mean? Well, it normally means they're getting ready to dump, guys. Now, we all know who BlackRock is, okay? And to make it even scarier, you know, to tie in the whole conspiracy theory that we were discussing earlier, Larry Fink is now on the board of the World Economic Forum. Okay, think about that any way you want. But the point is, Larry and BlackRock have an enormous amount of power and influence in a lot of markets now. And when they're getting ready to dump Bitcoin like that and Ethereum like that, that could have a cascading effect on the entire space, especially alts right now that seem to be so freaking fragile. So fragile. Okay. Now, I don't mean to get everybody's panty in a bunch right after Christmas and ruin the vibes. So let's turn it around a little bit. From Ash Crypto, Bitcoin catch-up rally will be insane. Bro, speaking with a lot of conviction there. Is he right on that, though? I don't know. But let's take a look, guys. Global liquidity continues to be expanding. As we know, Bitcoin used to follow that so closely, as we see in this chart. But then it kind of decoupled. Bitcoin went down. Global liquidity, that M2 money supply, continued to expand. Will it catch back up again? Well, if it does, that'll be a hell of a catch up. We kind of see it here, actually, in the beginning of this chart over by November of 2024, right? When everything was hitting, you know, everything was rallying in crypto, right? XRP was going crazy. A lot of cryptos were going crazy, up 100, 200, 300, 400%. And then everything kind of came back down. It decoupled around the June time this year. But look, if we catch back up, it's going to be a hell of a comeback, right? Charles Hoskinson said, I believe, maybe, I forget his price prediction for Bitcoin, but I think it was like 225, 250K for 2026, maybe. We have a lot of guys saying that 150, 175. We'll see. We will see. Let's continue, guys. Look at this chart. Now, this chart is a little telling. Any single time that we've had in this chart Bitcoin go under, right? We're in the red, right? Bitcoin on exchanges, the amount of Bitcoin in circulation going down. We have a supply shock. Every single time. Look at this chart. Talk about a Christmas chart. We got green and red, right? We're going down. Look where it comes back up. Green. We went a little bit down. Huge rally up with the green. We went down with the red, green, red, green. This is a huge pattern. All right. So we could potentially see a supply shock incoming and a reverse for the price of Bitcoin pretty here soon based off of this chart. Now, you guys let me know what you think in the comments about this. But, I mean, it could be a telling chart, guys. And again, here in the Coin Zone, make sure to sub to the channel because we're, we go live 5 days a week. Obviously, we didn't on Christmas Eve and Christmas because got to spend a little time with the fam, guys. Can't be all about charts every day, right? But make sure to follow us, subscribe to us because we're always staying up to date, giving you guys the latest news and discussing what's going on in the markets. So that's what's happening with BTC. We'll see what happens towards the end of the year into January Q1. In regards to the overall economy, I do think that we're going to see some really good things here in the US, which could lead to very good things in not only the stock market, which is hitting all new all-time highs, doing great, but also in the crypto markets as well. But I do think that's heavily contingent on the success of Bitcoin and Ethereum. We have a guy like Benjamin Cowan right now saying that ETH might not even hit a new all-time high in 2026 at all. And if that happens, I don't think that'd be good at all for altcoins. That would be pretty bad because altcoin season, we've always relied on Bitcoin to move first and ETH to move second. And we've been struggling and it's really not been that good. So we'll see what happens, guys. How long we will have to wait, I don't know. But let's kind of round it out here towards the end with some more interesting news. Now, I say the word interesting because there's a lot of fake metrics, a lot of fakeness, all right, in this space. People flubbing numbers, people lying about metrics. Now, this right here is super telling to me, right, guys? Sentiment. Among top cap assets, here are the amount of non-empty wallets on each network currently. Ethereum, Bitcoin, Tether, Dogecoin, XRP, Cardano, USDC, and Chainlink. What does this tell me, guys? This tells me that these are strong, raw, genuine communities where holders have been staying, accumulating more, and the holders have been rising. These communities just get stronger over time. They're not flubbing numbers. They're genuine numbers, not inflated. Okay, and this is, if you're holding any of these cryptos on this list here, I think it's a very positive thing for the future for these coins. And it is also very telling because every single one of these has been around now for years. All of these, right? Chainlink, XRP, Dogecoin, Cardano have all stayed in the top 10 for years now. While we've seen others come and go, right? New ones enter the list, like Hyperliquid, for example. I think Hype has a great future. We'll see if Sui enters the top 15-ish, if it isn't already. But I think Hype and Sui are two newer ones that I think... Why is it asking me to sign in right now? Coinbase, come on, son. Two-factor authentication. I guess I'm happy about that. But let's take a look. Wow, this is super zoomed in. All right, let's take a look at... Coinbase really pisses me off now, honestly. Okay. And my mouse, for some reason, is not doing the best. I'm traveling. I'm back home in New Jersey, guys. I'm not in my normal setup. My mouse is just being really bad right now. Okay, let's take a look. Bitcoin, ETH. Oh my God, bro, this mouse. Okay. So Sui basically is the top 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Outside of stables, yeah, we're looking at like a top 20, top 17 project right now. Huge. Huge. What a project. Yeah, Sui, hype. Guys, chat, let me know in the comments. What else would you add to those lists? Maybe Chief the Yorkie, let me know. Right? Just getting back to this. I genuinely think, I don't know about Dogecoin, if it's going to stick around. Maybe because it has the backing of Elon Musk. I mean, it's not horrible, right? It has a large community, but every single one of the projects in this list has stayed here. Not shocked about it. But what else would you add to this list? That's my question here. So chat, let me know in the comments right now. What would you add to this list? If Santiment did this post again on December 26th, 2026, a year from now, what do you think would be added to this list? For me, I'm going to say Hyperliquid. And I'm going to go on a bit of a risk here and say Sui. Because to me, Sui is a better version of Solana, even though Solana has great things going for it. You guys know how I feel about Solana. I've talked about it like every live stream, right? Great things going for it. They have a good research team. They do move fast. They break things for sure. But Wall Street seems to not care. The users seem to not care. And they eventually end up fixing those things. What about CC? I don't think Doge is going to rally anytime soon. Yeah, I really don't know. I mean, Doge did see a nice influx when the rest of the market started to rally in November of last year, right? So let's see real quick. So you got to look at, for me, what projects rallied when the market was going crazy after Trump won. Doge did see a nice rally. Okay, but to me, it's not, there's no utility. Doge is the ultimate hype project, the ultimate speculation project. And I know this because I know so many people who, when things are starting to go up, Doge is a project they buy. It's only 12 cents, right? It's not $3,000 like ETH is. So psychologically, that's something that people will be more willing to buy. But also because the stupid speculative nature of it. Oh, this could potentially give me a crazy return in a month. That's the only reason why people look at it. Not because of utility, not because of any of this stuff. And unfortunately, that's how retail thinks. If they're not viewing it as a legitimate investment, it's more of like a gamble, like a sports bet to them. This is how people view Dogecoin. So I don't know. I really don't know, Chief. It's a good question, though. It's a good indication. Sui is a pretty new project. It is. Yeah, I do like it, though. I'm not going to lie. It's got some big names behind it as well. Yeah, it went to 40 cents. We're sitting back at 12 right now. Definitely something to keep an eye on. I think it's relevant because it's one of the most profitable coins to mine. Yes, still right behind Bitcoin. You know, we talk about mining a lot on this channel. I used to mine Kaspa. At one point, Kaspa was like one of the best, most profitable to mine. And we saw big companies like Marathon start to mine Kaspa because it was more profitable. Pretty crazy. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting. I don't really know what else I would add to this list. Why don't we just go back and see what else I would add to this list? I would add to this list, actually, just thinking about it. Let's see here. Oh my God, this freaking mouse. I would add Avalanche to this list. Avalanche has a great community, a strong community, and they're just getting better and better. And I wouldn't say look at the price action because the price action really hasn't been doing much. But they've had partnership after partnership, success after success. I think they have integrations with other chains going on. They have their own debit card. They have a lot building on that community. I am a fan of Avalanche. Don't sleep on Avalanche. Hedera. I would add Hedera to that list. Maybe a couple others, guys. Not a lot, though. You know, you do have, again, I'm going to mention Kaspa again. Great community, right? But I don't know if its user count is high enough to be added to this list. I just don't know. Among top cap assets, right? Again, we're doing top, not the whole space in general. These are top assets. All of these are projects that are mentioned in ETFs, right? Your Caspa's not an ETF. So if you're a holder, if you're watching right now and you're on the live with me, right, and you're a holder of some smaller market cap project that you think is great, I'm sure you're right. I'm not disagreeing with you, but we're talking about top projects right now. So it's just very interesting, guys. Something to keep the eye on. And let's end it here, because I'm just absolutely flabbergasted, not biased here, but obviously you guys know I'm a big ADA fan. But man, Midnight has been absolutely dominating the entire social sentiment on X, metrics wise, right? Volume rise. I just made a clip you guys will see shortly about Midnight, top 50 project now. Last week, it was top 5 in volume behind USDC, over Solana, and over XRP. That's insane. Literally insane. This project just launched. It's a top 6 in market sentiment, ahead of Ethereum right now. Midnight is insane right now, guys. Genuinely. It's at 8 cents right now. This could be an amazing buy. Genuinely. But look at this list, guys. This list is so telling. There's a couple projects in here. I'm like, all right, what the hell? But for the most part, this is spot on. Top 20 trending coins, Bitcoin number 2. That doesn't surprise me. Midnight number 1 is insane to me, guys. Insane. Monad has had a large social push the last month or two. That doesn't surprise me. Pudgy Penguins does not surprise me at all. Marketing team is pretty outstanding. They were just on the Sphere in Las Vegas. Pretty good marketing there. Aave, pretty great. I'm a big fan of Aave. We had a discussion about Aave with DZ, right, guys? If you don't know who DZ is, Discover Crypto. I just interviewed him last week on the Coin Zone. Make sure to go check that interview out for us right now. Aave is a great project. ZK Pass, that's a little interesting. I'm going to do a little bit more research on that one. Canton, that doesn't surprise me to see they're up there right now at this very moment. Solana doesn't surprise me. Zcash obviously doesn't surprise me. Been dominating all of 2025. Hyperliquid does not surprise me. I mean, BitTensor, a huge fan of BitTensor. If I'm focusing on one project for 2026 outside of ADA and Midnight, and obviously Bitcoin, it's going to be BitTensor, 100%. I can't stop talking about BitTensor. It's like my favorite project right now. And it has been for months now. And I've been doing a ton of research. And the more I talk about it, right, we had an interview on the channel. We might have to re-record it. Unfortunately, you guys might not see that anytime soon. But this guy was the top writer on Subnet's, top BitTensor, expert, basically. I mean, that conversation was incredible, so eye-opening. BitTensor is such an interesting project to me. XRP, Sui, not surprised to see that. ICP, not surprised. Monero at 20, not surprised. Privacy to finish it off. Yeah, but you guys let me know what you think about this list in the comments. Your thoughts on Ethereum Classic? Interesting question, Chief the Yorkie. I don't pay it any mind at all. I don't see what the point is. There's really no point in focusing on Ethereum Classic unless you are like a hyper-focused like cult member. Yeah. I mean, it's cool. It's profitable. I totally understand. Look, it's still proof of work, right? I used to mine Ethereum. But if you're going to change and make iterations to get away from that, everyone cares about Ethereum. Tom Lee is buying Ethereum, not Ethereum Classic. They moved away from it because they had to make changes to the protocol. Right? It's like if Caspa made an update to Caspa, right? As another proof of work example, I'm just using off the top of my head. Do you think the people would move on with Caspa or just hold Caspa Classic? I think that would be a huge disruption in the chain. It would set it back a lot. It would have cause a lot of confusion. Yeah. But that's a good question. I mean, my thoughts are like, I don't have anything wrong with it. I just don't really care for it. I think there's so much more exciting things to talk about for me, like Tau, like BitTensor, right? Right now, like Midnight. So that's where my head's at. Again, but it is profitable if you have a business strategy centered around it. It's like Bitcoin Cash. all right, or even Litecoin. Basically just iterations of Bitcoin. I mean, they have communities. Bitcoin Cash is easier to hit a solo block, right? So if you're going to mine and you choose to mine Bitcoin Cash over Bitcoin with much less energy, with much higher probability, much higher odds, you can hit a solo block and earn an entire Bitcoin Classic, coin, which is more than, the average reward you'll get for mining Bitcoin. And if you're solo mining Bitcoin, your odds are 1 in a million, probably higher, to ever hit a block. It's probably never going to happen in your lifetime. So Bitcoin Classic or Bitcoin Cash has a use case. Ethereum Classic has a use case. It's just about, is people really focusing on it? Not really. I mean, that's my 2 cents, but I got nothing wrong with it. And that's a great question. And I appreciate you guys adding these questions to the list here. Very cool to see. I appreciate you guys interacting. It's been a fun live stream for me, guys. I'll be back since it's Friday, right? We'll be back on Monday. All right, so make sure to tap back in then. Chief the Yorkie, always good to see you. I appreciate the interactions. Akbar Ali, that's what that says. Appreciate the comment, brother. Love to see it. Thank you guys for interacting. Thank you guys for tapping in. Make sure to sub to the channel. As you know, this is The Coin Zone. I'm your host, Crypto with Paul. I had a great live stream with you guys. Hope you had a great Christmas. And that's about it. I'll see you guys again on Monday. Chief the Yorkie, take care. Have a great weekend, guys. Akbar Ali, have a great weekend. Take care, guys.